School is back in session. Welcome to the Christian Call Center where Jesus is on the main line and we're on line too.
So we back, y'all. We back with another episode. It's
Yeah.
episode, yo, we are on episode 15.
We've been
Fifth,
getting that in.
bro. Like we really been knocking these things out since episode 10. I don't know how our listeners are taking this thing, but like we really working hard to put out this content for y'all.
We are.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to think it's a drag. Like it's not a drag. We love doing this, but like we really working hard to put this content out for y'all. So I'm really excited. We putting the series on hold for a little bit. How y'all feeling about the courtship series? How y'all feeling about this series we've been doing?
First of all, I think it's been lit. And what
Yes,
solidified it for me was when Pastor Ryan started talking about Jacob and Laban on Sunday. And I was like, you in here, Pastor Ryan? Like, you in here. You know what we talking about?
No, for real. Because he started talking about it, I was like, I know we were definitely just talking about this
Yes.
2 days ago.
And that for me was just like, okay, that's confirmation that clearly there's a connection. There's something happening when we're putting out some good content right there. That was a stamp of approval for Pastor Ryan, in my opinion.
And then that God's leading us too, you know.
Absolutely.
Like,
The Holy Spirit is connecting with all of this.
Absolutely.
So like I said, we putting the courtship series on hold just for a little bit because for a lot of people, we back to school.
yes.
We never left.
For those of our listeners who don't know, Brandy's just starting nursing school. So it's already been something, hasn't it?
I'm about to shave my hair.
And then Joe's been in school. She hasn't left for real. So
I really haven't. School's year round for me.
yeah.
But it's all going to be worth it in the end, though. So.
Of course. When I get that degree.
When I get that license. Hey, God.
We love it. We love it here. So really, like all the kids going back to school. I think EBR Parish just went back to school this week.
No, I'm a little baby.
Like
all y'all in first day to school pictures look so cute.
for real. Like everybody been posting their kids' pictures. My coworker, her 2 kids went back to school this week. Our friends' kids went back to school this week. Like everybody's got their first day of school fits on.
Yeah,
Y'all remember that first day of school, y'all?
Man, how we used to prepare the night before. We used to put our clothes and shoes on the bed and just be waiting to put it on the next day.
Nah, can we talk about like that week or 2 before school starts where they like, hey, you gotta start getting your bed early to get ready for school?
What is that about? My mom used to say you gotta practice going to bed early so you know how to get up in the morning for school. What does that mean?
It's resetting your clock. That's like a legit thing. So when your body gets used to waking up and going to sleep at a certain time, naturally you wake up at that specific time. So you ever notice that sometimes you'll go to sleep, it doesn't matter how late you go to sleep, you always wake up at a specific time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like a body clock that you got going on. So if you want to prepare yourself to go to school, you have to get that rhythm back. You can't be going to bed at 10 o'clock and waking up at 12 o'clock and expect to do the same thing the next day or expect to do something different the next day, because then you're going to be cranky and mad and parents don't want to deal with that. That's really what it is.
Time, so.
Right. So really, your body has to be reset. So that way, when you wake up or when you go to bed, your body's naturally going to wake you up at whatever time it is that you have to get ready for school.
I guess.
That's why they do that, kids. So yeah, psychology.
Go ahead and practice going to bed early now.
Right.
So you can get up for school in the morning.
Because I don't think everybody's back. Because like, yo, remember when we used to not go back until like after Labor Day?
Yeah, when we started school in September.
Yup.
I don't think I've ever started in September.
But we also got out at the end of June.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we actually waited for summer to start because summer starts what June 21st or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that was y'all up north. We always
Yeah,
got out in May.
so to be fair, our school district was like very Jewish heavy. So not only did we start in September, but like we got out for all the Jewish holidays, which is probably why we got out so late. Think about it.
Yeah, we
I was making up those
the
days.
calendar, though. That's really what it was because like the seasons, fall starts in September.
Yeah.
So we just followed the calendar for the seasons. I see it. We had a real summer because we actually started with summer.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all, let's talk about some back to school things. Like what would be, let's see, because for us we're all like college / post grad situations. So I guess we could start there really. What kind of things for you, Joe? Because I know you've been pretty much doing this for a good minute now, this post grad situation. So what are some of the things you feel like people need to know as a post grad? Like what are they getting into first of all as a post grad?
So I could talk about two different experiences because obviously when I first came here, I started out in law school.
Right.
And now in my master's, which is completely online. So those experiences are like vastly different. One, the fact that it's a doctorate degree versus a master's degree, so the program is like way more intense. But when it came to the whole post-grad situation, I kind of like slightly had an expectation that it would be the same, but it really isn't, especially, and it might be different from other post-grad programs, but law school was no joke as far as like studying time and, you know, just the way that you say, like, I feel like I had to like relearn how to be a student almost, because like in college, of course, like I studied and you know, I passed the test and I did pretty well in my graduate career, and I still did good in law school. It was just that, you know, like you had study groups. I really didn't do that in undergrad, and this was like, it almost was like mandatory. It was like you were not going to pass without having like some type of study group. The way you did your notes was different. Like, and then the worst part about law school, and it might be like that for other postgraduates, but the worst part is like your only grade is the exam. So no matter what you did throughout the entire semester, no classwork, no homework, no nothing equates to anything. The only thing that matters is what you put on that last exam. And that was nerve-wracking, to spend the entire semester and then get to this exam and fail, you know? That was a lot for a lot of people, and it created a lot of anxiety for a lot of people. So that in itself was a hurdle to get used to. And then learning how to write differently was also a big thing when it came to law school. Like in undergrad, I took a lot of writing classes. Like I almost did a creative writing minor, but I took a lot of writing classes. I did creative writing. I did poetry. I did a couple of writing classes. So I'm used to fluff. I'm used to telling a story. I'm used to like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. So when I got to law school and I wrote like that, they was like, "Oh no, you need like writing tutoring." And I was like, "Why? Like I'm a writer. Like what you mean I need writing tutoring? Like I'm built for this." And then I realized it's because of the way that I wrote. When it comes to law school, you have to get straight to the point. What is the issue? How do you solve it? I didn't write like that. Like I kind of like retold the story, and I was like, okay, so this happened and this is why, and this explains this. And like, there was a lot of stuff that like, if I took out like half of what I wrote, that's all they wanted. They just wanted straight answer. And I never learned like that. There's always a way to write it, you know? And that in itself took me a while to adjust. Sleep. I'm gonna keep going on and on. There's a lot of things I could talk about when it comes to post grad, but a lot of it relates to college and high school as well. But and also what was different for me too, it was like that was my first time away from home, and I was also here by myself. So that in itself was a difficult thing to navigate on top of being in law school. I also had to learn how to be more independent, because I was definitely independent in undergrad, but I also still lived at home. Like I also still had my parents, picking me up, or you, John, picking me up from school, dropping me off or whatever, because I wasn't driving at the time, or like it wasn't as intense as it was because I wasn't even on campus. I was living in my first apartment. Like it was just so many different changes happening at one time, and also navigating like post grad. Like it was completely different for me. And then obviously now I'm in my master's program, which is online, which is slightly easier, but also it's not, because I feel like it's even more of a task for me to be on top of my work, because I don't have to worry about logging into a class. But I do know if I don't submit this assignment at the right time, I'm not going to get a good grade. And then the expectations are higher too. Like you can get away with getting like low B's and high C's. Not in these programs. You better come out with an A and a B plus. Otherwise you're on like academic probation. What? I'm failing with a B? Like how? So
Wait, I'm sorry. Run that back. What you mean you failing?
Oh yeah, like you with at least with the program that I'm in, like you have to keep up a 3.5 GPA.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, I like it, but I don't like that.
That sounds like my nursing program. You gotta have 80% in the class to pass.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it makes sense in the long run, because obviously they don't want people out here who aren't, properly trained.
True.
So I suppose that makes sense from like a professional standpoint. It's just daunting because you're so used to like, okay, as long as I get a C, I can pass. But nah, bro. Mm-hmm. It's not like that in the post-grad world.
Not at all.
So I guess same question to you, Brandy, because you're also doing some post-grad stuff. Like what are the big things? What are the big takeaways already you think people should know?
Stay organized. Get you a planner. Like manage your time, your study time versus your work time versus your social time. Because if you're not careful, all of that can run into each other, and you can stress yourself out. So I would say just main thing is to stay organized.
Okay, stay organized. So basically the things I don't do, noted. All right. Since we talk post grad, you know what I want to ask? I want to ask about this whole online situation, because I feel like this can apply to not just post grad, but pretty much everybody, especially since, with COVID and everything, how it kind of shifted everybody's educational experience. So, Brandy, you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Repeat your question, my bad, sir.
Like the whole online college or online educational experience, because with COVID and everything kind of shifting how education is run, and then now it feels like because of it, it's like that's how colleges are kind of like gearing things now. It's like more of a hybrid situation or an online situation. So like, could you give people some insight?
I mean, it's much different than being face to face. See, me, I like the face to face, hands on. I don't really like the online thing, but it's not that bad per se. But that's just me. I'm a visual type, like a hands on visual type learning, in class type person. But you definitely have to stay on top of your work, because, like Joe said, it's really easy to get distracted when you're online, because you don't have to get up and go to class or log into class, but you do have to get these assignments turned in at a certain point. And if you don't, then that's a big fat zero. So that goes back to be saying stay organized. So you make sure you stay on top of your due dates. You know what you got to turn in, what assignments, what reading assignments you have, et cetera, et cetera. I wouldn't say it has gotten harder being online, but it's not necessarily easy. But it's doable though.
Okay. Joe, anything to add?
Yeah, honestly, online was like 70% of the reason why I left law school when I did. Um, because that was extremely hard to navigate. Like I'm an audio visual learner. So for me, I can't do online lectures. I can't do online textbooks like I can't. Like I need to like physically see the book at the same time. Like that's how I learn. Because I make connections to what I hear to what I see. So for me, when it came down to being in a online lecture, it was very hard to stay focused. Like I'm in my bed, like I'm comfortable. Like it was just extremely difficult. And I just couldn't it was very hard for me to like learn anything. Like honestly, I'm gonna be very 100% honest. Like I couldn't even take my finals that year. Like when we went a full semester, because I know like COVID started and we were at like the tail end of one semester, so that was pretty much easy. All I was really doing was finishing up like my final like assignments or whatever for like legal writing or like I think I was in like trial advocacy, so I had to do like a trial or whatever, and then take my final. So that was easy to navigate. But when we went back and I started a full semester and then I was working full time at the same time, that was extremely difficult because I'm in lectures while I'm at work. I'm not really fully paying attention. There's so much happening around me. And even when I adjusted my schedule and I came home for lectures, it was still hard to sit there and want to listen. I just worked from 8 o'clock in the morning to, you know, whatever time I got home. And then to through this lecture, like that was extremely difficult in itself too. So it just became very, very hard to understand what was being taught to me. And then having to do like online textbooks. Like I like having the physical copy of a textbook versus like, even if I print it out, it's not the same because it's just, I feel like it's just a bunch of paper. But it was a very, very hard adjustment for me personally. I couldn't quite learn like that. So when it came down to like taking the finals, I was like, I didn't learn nothing. Like I don't remember nothing that was ever taught to me. I don't remember anything that the teachers ever said. Like I was completely lost. And I was just like, you know what, this this ain't it. I'm not. And then, you know, again, at the time, they weren't sure what was going to be happening because there was still, you know, it was like phase 2 or something like that. So, like, they weren't sure if they were going to do school again. And they started this hybrid situation. And you couldn't, it was just way too much for law school. It was a lot to be online for that. So, I was like, look, I'm going to come back to this at a later date.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. The one time I tried online classes, and this is back in my undergrad, I
Mm-hmm.
remember it was just like I was very bad at it because I'm already somebody who like I need
Mm-hmm.
proper deadlines.
Yeah.
So, like if I'm dependent on me to get my work submitted on time, like it's
Mm-hmm.
all getting done like right before the deadline. And that's
Yeah.
horrible. But like that's always how I've been. Like from the time I started school. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
literally like there were days when I was in like high school, I was doing homework literally in homeroom. That was me.
Yeah.
So to I can't imagine like full on graduate school, post grad, whatever, doing online work for everything, and then with online textbooks too. Nah, bro.
Yeah, like that
Yeah, I don't like
honestly.
online textbooks. It's really hard for me to follow.
Yeah. And
Like,
I'm
'cause
being
you
honest, like
you
I'm
can't mark
sorry.
your page the way you would like to. You can't like
Mm-mm.
turn
Can't
back the way you want
highlight.
to and highlight and stuff. Like, yeah, they
Yeah.
have those options, but like it's not the same as doing it with a physical book.
And
And
it's
like,
true because honestly, like now again, I know I'm in school online right now, which I'm grateful for the program that I'm in, but it's also like hard to navigate as well because yes, we have those deadlines, so that helps me keep me on track. I know for a fact I have assignments due Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. So I know, what I have to do. I know,
Saturday.
oh yeah, homework is due Saturday. So I know, what to, because the schedule is weird. Like the week starts on Tuesday and it ends up, the week starts on Thursday and it ends the following Wednesday. So it's weird. But anyway, so that in itself, but honestly, like I've been in this program for almost a year now. I have not read one textbook for this program. And that's mostly because like I sight read. So for example, like we have discussion board questions. So I'll go into like, okay, if it says like you're supposed to be on chapter 6, 7, and 8, I'll go in and like find whatever is related to this particular topic to answer my discussion question. But outside of that, I'm not reading this textbook. One, because it's online. I can't read online. And two, there's no type of like, there's no accountability for me to read it, because it's not like we have to like submit notes. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we have any type of assignment that requires me to have to read this book. So I'm not going to read the book.
That honestly sounds like any assignment, really. Like if you're not book,
like I feel like we telling these people like all the horrible things about school.
To be fair though, like a lot of these things are things we've been doing since high school. Because I don't know if y'all know or y'all remember, but Cliff Notes and Spark Notes were definitely a thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I know they still using them now. So Spark Notes, Cliff Notes, Quizlet, all of that stuff.
I still use Quizlet. That's old trust.
Yes.
It's only gotten better now. Like all these online programs to be able to help people do their homework without
honestly
reading a textbook.
I'm not gonna lie, Quimby took me through law school. I paid for that. That's how much I was like, look, I'm gonna get all these case briefs. I'm gonna pay for this. That is a-okay. Like normally I wouldn't, but I paid for Quimby. I was not playing.
First of all,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I want to come back to this textbook situation because can we talk about the fact that college textbooks are way too expensive?
Too expensive.
Way.
It is not included in your tuition. That's the biggest scam ever.
Right. That's not even the biggest scam. Honestly, the biggest scam is college tuition in the first place. Let's start there. But
and the fact that you got to take out loans if you can't, because your mom and daddy make too much money.
They make too much.
So you got to pay out of pocket.
Right. They make too much money for you to get financial aid, but they don't make enough money for you to go to school. So you got to take out the loan. Like,
exactly.
Make that make sense. But this textbook thing though, because I remember I'll never forget my freshman year of college getting ready to buy textbooks. And I'm like, all right, because I don't know if y'all remember how they like basically give you like this little breakdown of how much everything should cost when you start and then you get to the textbook section and then it's like the math is not mathing here. Because we should budget like $200 for textbooks, but textbooks definitely cost like $1,000 or more.
Facts.
Before I found Chegg, I paid close to $900 for textbooks my freshman year of college.
Let me put y'all on. Use slugbooks.com. Slugbooks.com changed my entire life. A friend of mine gave that to me in college. Use that website because that website allows you to compare prices to all of like the known bookstores. So like it compares it to Amazon, it compares it to Chegg, it compares it to like all of them. I can't remember all of them at the top of my head, but there's like 6 or 7 like book websites that they compare all of the prices to, so you can find the cheapest one. Either you're gonna buy it or gonna rent it, but you don't have to spend. Like it'll charge you like $200 at the campus bookstore, but you can find it for a much cheaper price for like $30-something. That saved my entire life until law school, because half of those books was not on there.
I feel like some of these companies do that on purpose because they know people are out here looking for the cheaper option. They're not gonna allow it,
Exactly.
So they can keep making this money.
But shout out to Claters out here in Louisiana. That's like a law bookstore. Like it's just a bookstore for law books. That one helped out a lot of people, but I was still able. And then a lot of people, sell their old textbooks, so that helped too. So I was able to get really good ones for cheap.
Yeah. Do
But
not
I'm
be
sure
ashamed
it's
to get
not.
used textbooks, bro.
Don't buy that stuff from the school.
Facts.
Get yourself somebody who went through the class, took it, and was like, "All right, I'm done with this book."
9 times out of 10, they're gonna have notes in it too, so
Yo,
they can also help you.
but yeah, we talked about them textbooks. What else? What else could we talk about for college?
Are we talking about specifically? Let's talk about college parties versus
Oh Lord.
studying.
Oh Lord.
Should you go?
Can we change that a little bit? How about studying versus free time? Because
No, let's keep it real. Because in college, there's a lot of people going to parties. I'll say a good 90% of college students go to parties.
All right, I don't know the statistic, so I'm gonna just go with you on that one. But
I get where you're coming from
Yeah.
with the free time thing, because it's your choice of what you do in your free time. Because I know for me, like, I didn't party in college, but me and my friends had some real fun adventures. I'm not gonna lie.
Them adventures be fun. Them adventures be interesting.
I feel like the image is that all college students do is party, and I feel like that's not a good image. Like, yeah, it happens. You're not gonna say it doesn't happen, and it happens a lot. However, I feel like we gotta, if we don't, we gotta keep it real while also keeping it honest.
Okay, let me rephrase that then. Let me rephrase that. Going on missions, going on these adventures, just being lazy, procrastinating versus studying. You got a test coming up Thursday, but your friends want to go on this adventure. What do you do? The adventure is kind of fun, kind of interesting, but you got a test this Thursday. What you gonna do?
So I had, and looking back on it, it's so crazy. But me and my friend group was like organized to a T, and it's so funny. And mostly because we were all kind of in the same boat. None of us lived on campus, which was what I loved about the college that I went to. Like, we had a big like commuter program, so there was a lot of people who didn't live at the school, so we were able to meet people like kind of in the same boat as us. So a lot of us, we would come to school and go back home. But within that friend group, like, we had each other's school schedules, so we literally had this big calendar. And every semester, we would always input our class schedule into this joint calendar for all of us. So we knew, okay, we never even had to call or text each other. We knew if it was 1 o'clock, such and such is in class. So we know he or she, we don't have to worry about them, you know? So that worked out for us. And we planned around all of that. We had lunch together. We always knew, because we had like this thing called free hour. So from 12 to 1, majority of the people were not in class. So once we had free hour, we all got together and we had lunch together. Or we were big on like potlucks. So like whenever we knew Fridays was pretty much a chill day for most of us. So a lot of us only had like 1 or 2 classes. So we would, after most of us finished by like 12 o'clock, we would stay till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock or whatever, and just have these, not really parties, I wouldn't call them parties, but they were like these hangouts, these get-togethers. We would like book a classroom, and we would turn music on, eat a bunch of different foods, and just play games with each other and have fun. Like, that was like the majority of my college experience. Sometimes we would go out to like local restaurants. Sometimes we even went out of the state, because of course DC and Virginia was like super close. You can be there like in an hour. You know, we did that kind of stuff as well during the day. You know, obviously sometimes we skipped class too and did that, but that was pretty much, you know, our thing. And then we also took classes together, so that kind of helped us like navigate. Like, we really like stayed on top of each other. Even though we were all in different majors, we still kind of like worked around all of our interests. Like, we still were able to make it to club meetings, like all of those things, because we knew each other's lives pretty much.
Well, I wouldn't say me and my friends were that organized, but it's been times that I chose going out to do whatever over studying.
Big facts.
It was times where we were out doing something and we didn't come back to the room till about like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up for an 8 o'clock class to go take a test. That was not fun at all, but
it was
I
fun
had to pay for that. It was fun in the moment, until I realized Randy, you got a test, and it's math, and you know you don't like math. So thank God I passed that test though. But yeah, that's just there's been plenty of times I chose like going out and having fun or enjoying my free time over studying. Disclaimer: do not do that.
Mm.
Don't do it.
I was gonna say I think we definitely all have stories of like being reckless with our time on college campus.
Time is everything in college, bro.
Also, let me throw this out here. Don't always listen to your friends when it comes to pick classes. Because what I will say is I'm a shout out my best friend right here. I did not have to take that economics class, and I took it and I failed.
Oh,
I didn't need it. It was not necessary.
Class. What were you taking an econ class for?
Because we had to take 2 math classes, and most of the social science majors, we took statistics. That was a hot mess too.
Ooh, I hated statistics.
But I passed it. That's all that mattered. I passed it. But then, like, for my second math class, I didn't know what to take. So a lot of them was like, oh, well, we're all taking econ. We could take it together. Okay. And then we failed it. And I'm like, yeah, nah, no, leave me alone. I'm going to just pick my own class. I'm going to do algebra again or something. I don't even think they had algebra. I don't even know what I did. I think I took econ twice, though, because I did not want that on my record that I failed it.
This girl took econ for no reason.
But I was like, I listened to my best friend, to Cream, and yeah, I feel like that was.
Man, you called her out by name.
I did. I feel set up. Never doing that again.
Honestly,
so yeah,
I don't know, but like I feel like that's on you though, because who told you to take econ? Granted, she did say it, but like econ,
yeah,
you ain't had no reason to take no econ of all the
was on me.
Taken econ.
It was on me. It definitely 100% was on me. But again, I thought, I could definitely do this. Like, my friends are in here. Like, we got this.
So college students, make sure you read your course requirements before you pick a class.
Yeah, even if all of your friends are in there. If you can't do it, don't do it. Please, you don't need that type of headache.
Like, it's already a class you don't need, and then you finna take it anyway and fail.
I mean, I needed it for the requirement, but I had other options.
Yeah, you needed a math class, not necessarily econ. So that's all you, bro.
That was the setup.
Let's see what else. Ooh. Here's a good one. Time management. No, we already talked time management. Mm-hmm. Clubs.
Yes.
Like, let's talk about that, because I feel like getting involved, and this could go for college and high school. I think getting involved is like, I think it's easier in high school, harder in college, or maybe the other way around for some people. And I also think it depends on the school you went to also.
Yeah.
Because like, I think for us, because we went to UMBC, the commuter lifestyle, I feel like it's harder to be involved in organizations when you're not living on campus.
Some of them, yes. I feel like there was a lot of organizations that I wanted to join, but because like they met like 7, 8 o'clock at night, that wasn't an option.
Right.
But
at that point.
Yeah, but I did end up finding, organizations that I fell in love with that met during the day, like Splash. So that was good for me. But let me skip to high school real quick, because we do have a lot of like younger people. When it comes to like organizations, clubs, all of those things, I think when it comes to high school, it's all about building that like college resume, I feel like. And most of it is, I personally feel like it's being as well-rounded as possible. Like, I feel like a lot of times people are so focused on the academics that they forget the extracurriculars when it comes to school.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like those admissions and like the admissions interviews and all those stuff, they always ask you questions about things outside of your academics. Yes, you have amazing grades. Yes, you passed the SAT and all of that stuff. But they want to know, what are you doing, not just at school, but what are you doing in the community? So that's why, like, if they tell you about them service learning hours, actually go out and do something. Even if you don't do it for the full however many hours you're required to do it. I think ours was 70. Even if you don't do that particular task for 70 hours, at least be out there and doing something, because majority of the time, like, that's what's going to set you apart. Because when you do those admissions essays, those are the sources that you need to pull from. Not you can't pull from I had this class and it was really difficult, but I ended up passing. Like, okay, cool. Like, that's a good experience. But they want to know, like, how you affected somebody's life. Like, volunteering at a soup kitchen, volunteering at a homeless shelter. How did you impact society? That's what I feel like a lot of these college essays are really looking for. Because they want to like I said, they want to see how you're different. They, especially the school that we went to, like, I know our president was all about diversity.
Yeah.
So he was very big, and we were a very diverse college. Like, that was the first time that I was ever around, like, obviously we had like black and white people that we knew, but we had like the Jewish culture back home in New York, and in my school it was predominantly black. My middle school was predominantly black. My high school was predominantly black. So we had like other cultures like here and there. But when it came to like being at UMBC, like, I met so many different people. Like, all of my friends, which I didn't even expect to happen, all my friends are from Asia. Like, that wasn't anything that I expected to happen, but it exposed me to a culture that I wasn't familiar with. Like, my best friend is from Pakistan. Like, that's a culture that I didn't have any type of experience with, but it's a culture that I learned about. And it's a culture, like, we learned about each other's foods. We learned about each other's holidays. Like, so it's all about that well-rounded experience, because you're going to come into the world and be around all of those people. And a lot of times, and I hate to say this, but a lot of times people don't even realize like how much that can affect you later on in life. Because I actually realized this in post-grad, because I took a class recently about bias. And like, for me, like, when it came to like black and white bias, it was pretty much even, because I've been around white people, I've been around black people, but I didn't even realize how ignorant I was to cultures outside of that, because of lack of exposure. And that's what life is. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't have the frame of reference that I had with my Asian friends, I wouldn't have been able to understand certain experiences that they had and be able to draw from. For example, and I hate to go into this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring it back. But for example, something like 9/11, right?
Yep.
I talk about that all the time because of my personal experience with it, because we lived in New York.
Literally same.
But then I took this class on bias, and it didn't even make me realize the other experience. My best friend, who's Muslim, had a completely different experience when it comes to 9/11, because now she's experiencing discrimination.
Nah, I remember. And I think it's also because I'm older than you that I remember, like, I remember literally witnessing how people's minds flipped so fast when it came to like discriminating against people from Southeast Asia and from the Middle East and stuff like that. And I was like it was literally like night and day. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Like, the joke culture and the like the hatred and the fear that literally of these people who y'all were just friendly with the other day. And like all of a sudden now they're the enemy. Now all of a sudden they're evil. Now all of a sudden it's just like.
But I say all that to say, this goes back to why extracurriculars are so important. It's all about having a well-rounded lifestyle. It's all about experiencing things outside of the norm for your culture. So knowing what it's like to be in somebody else's shoes, like, that's all about having a well-rounded experience, especially going into college. You don't know who's going to be your roommate. You don't know who's going to be in your classroom. Like, you don't know what all these other people's experiences. Some people are coming from out of state. Some people are coming from out of the country. Like, there's a lot of people's experiences that you are going to run into. So I think having that exposure early in high school or whatever is going to honestly help you navigate college, because it's going to help you honestly to not be ignorant. I remember one time I had a friend who went to a HBCU, and obviously I went to UMBC, which is not a HBCU.
Mhm.
And one of my friends called herself a POC, which is a person of color.
Mhm.
And he looked at her funny, thinking that she wasn't allowed to use that term.
Mhm.
But she is, because she's a person of color.
Right.
But because you don't have that experience, you think that that's weird, but it's not,
Mhm.
because you're not around these people. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. For sure.
So for me, it's all about like exposing yourselves to things that are outside of you. That helps you a lot to navigate college and navigate life in general.
Agreed. So Brandy, I'm gonna throw the question to your direction. Extracurriculars, fam, getting involved, both college and high school, because like Joe talked about the fact that your high school extracurriculars kind of like steer you into college, whereas your college extracurriculars are just you spreading your wings. So, anything you'd like to share in that regard?
I agree. 10 out of 10 recommend. I do encourage high schoolers and college students to join some type of extracurricular or organization. College, whether it be your student union board, that's basically you're in the known for everything that's going on campus. You basically plan things on campus. You work close with the student, like the what is it called? Student council. What I think it's a different term for college, but I don't know. Basically,
Like the
y'all
SGA.
govern. Yes, SGA.
Mhm.
Y'all they basically govern everything that involves the students. I know at the college I went to, they were basically in charge of planning homecoming events. Just random events on the campus for the students to stay involved. They have like certain clubs for. So like if you're from out of state, they have like some of my friends are from Texas. They had a club called the Texas Club. Um,
Wait, they had
because
a Texas club?
yeah, and they had
Yes, some
a
Southern stuff
club
real quick.
from people from Detroit, Michigan. They had a Michigan club. It was basically for people who were not from Louisiana, who basically didn't know anything about Louisiana, who um basically helped them feel at home or something like that. But
Pretty cool.
as far as high school, there are some clubs you can join that will help you, that will basically get you involved in college. Like, there are some specific extracurriculars dealing with your grades. Is it beta club? I don't know, but it's certain types of clubs that you
Like
do in high
honor
school.
societies.
Yeah, honor
Yeah.
society, all of that will help you actually get further in college. But I definitely recommend joining the extracurricular or organization, staying active. It would really help your school journey, college and high school.
I second that. SGA changed my life, honestly. Student Government Association was the best thing. And what's crazy is my entire like undergraduate career, I was like, man, I don't like SGA. And then I
Yeah.
became friends with a bunch of people who were in SGA. And then I think it was like my junior year. He was like, oh, you should do this and you should do that. And like I started getting involved like slowly and slowly. Like next thing you know, I had positions in SGA and I was like, oh, this nice. Like, so
That was
definitely, even
my
if you
bad.
don't like have a position, I would definitely like say be on top on somebody's team, or because we had like different organizations within SGA. It's like we had like a diversity team, we had a disability team. Like being on, even if you're on like those like smaller teams, like I think even just doing that, it goes a long way.
I say that's one of my regrets and
Hmm.
from college is not actually joining the student union board or running for SGA or something like that, because not gonna lie, the friends I was with, they thought it was lame. They're like, you
Hmm.
really want to do that lame stuff, blah, 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 blah. But
Yeah.
now they see what I see, like, oh, that was actually fun. We should have did that. I
Yep.
know.
Yep. Yeah.
Another reason why don't listen to your friends.
Mm. Yeah,
But
be
yeah,
like that girl on TikTok. I'm gonna see for myself.
I'm gonna
Please
see
see
for
for
myself.
yourself. In certain things though, don't see for yourself in everything. Sometimes you do have to listen to
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna hold you. I speaking as someone who wasn't really involved in anything in college, like I really did not get involved in much of anything, and that's definitely something I look back on. It was like I could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, I hung out with people. Yeah, I spent time doing things like outside of class, but to say I was involved in an organization, like I think maybe my last year of undergrad, I was in the Caribbean Students Club on campus, which was
Yo,
cool.
they was lit.
They were. They were. It was like Black Student Union, but better low key.
Yeah, they
Um,
was lit.
and so like finding clubs that are right for you too. So I know we talked about like high school clubs are really important for like looking good on your college resume, but I feel like we need to talk about the other side of that, which is like getting
Mhm.
involved in things that you enjoy doing, because it's not all about your college resume. Yes, do things to look good for colleges, because colleges, obviously you want to get into college, hopefully. I mean, if you don't, that's cool too. But if you want to go to college, obviously looking good for colleges is great. But also do things you enjoy doing.
If you choose not to go the college route, I would say pick a trade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely pick a trade.
Yeah, pick
But
something that you can focus on.
even with all of that, like get involved in clubs that do things that you enjoy. Like if your high school has a drama club, get in that. If your high school has like I don't know if high schools still do this, but like shop club or whatever, or like I know our high school had like a robotics club. Like we had all
Mhm.
types of things for all whatever you like to do. There's hopefully a club for that at your high
Mhm.
school, and if not, you can start one. Don't
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
you can't start a
Mhm.
club at your high school, because
You
it's
can start one at
honestly
college
really
too.
easy.
Yep.
It's really easy, especially in high school. It's really easy to start a club.
You
All
just
you,
need an advisor.
yeah,
Just tell a teacher that you like, hey, I'm about to start this club, and they'll sign whatever paperwork you want.
yeah. Like I think you just need like a certain number of people who want to do it,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then just get a teacher who's willing to be there with you. It's
Mhm.
easy. Like I think we started like my class started like 3 or 4 clubs before we graduated that are still
Mhm.
going to this day. So
Yeah.
if it's not a club at your school, start the club, because nine, and then that'll look good. Just that on its own will look good, because
Yes.
you
Definitely,
started the club at
definitely.
your school.
Yeah.
You know,
Did we talk about resumes? I know I had a technical issue and I cut out, but did we talk about resumes?
I
uh,
talked a little bit about it. I
yeah,
was just more so
we
talking
like
about
dabbled.
like, yeah, like just being able to have like well-rounded experiences on your school resume, more so instead of focusing more on the academics. Like they really do look at the extracurriculars. They look
Mm-hmm.
at the things you do outside of school a lot.
Mm-hmm. So I know people don't think that resumes are important in high
Mhm.
school, but
Mhm.
they really are.
Yeah.
Because like
So
they're the beginning of your career,
Mhm.
honestly,
most definitely.
which is kind of annoying, but it's just a fact of life. You know, like college is going to be looking at what you were doing in high school. So
And I will say this too. Like I think a lot of times in high school, and it's okay if you do this, but a lot of people put so much emphasis on like choosing your career path then.
hmm
Don't do that. I mean, if you know without a shadow of a doubt this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, more power to you. I wish you the best.
shout
But
out to you.
yeah, but what I will say though, like the, and this is the beauty about college. College is really a place to find yourself. It
Yes.
really is. And a lot of times, like, we're so stuck in this bubble because of our experiences in high school that we think like this is the only lane for you to be in. And it's not. Like, college is a real journey. And if you close yourself off from that experience, it's not going to be beneficial to you at all. Like, in high school, I'm thinking like I wanted to do so much with my life. Like I know for a fact like I wanted to be a lawyer. But honestly, up until college, I thought I was going to medical school. Like literally I changed my career path the summer before college started. And
Mm-hmm.
because I was planning on going to certain schools specifically that had like a good science and medical program. So um I was getting ready to go out of state. And from there, I realized I don't really want to do this. I don't like blood. I don't like needles. Like, what I look like being a doctor? Who am I going to help? Not me. Not these kids. So I was like, I gotta choose something else. And it was because I was so stuck on this, I have to choose now ordeal, that I felt like I was limited in what school I could go to. And that's really not the case. It really isn't.
I mean, shoot, you want to talk about changing your major before college? How about changing your major in college?
Did that too.
I've done that.
Changed my major like 3 times since I started college. And that's the other thing. Don't feel like once you change your major, it's like, oh, I got to stick to this. Granted, you do have to stick to it to us in a sense, because it's like, because the more often you change your major, it's the more often you're gonna have to shift the kind of classes you take, which may necessarily extend your time in college. But that's just a fact. Like, if you know there are certain things you want to do, if you're unsure, go to college as an undecided major. Like,
you can do that.
A whole bunch of general education classes, so that way, if you start figuring out that path as you go, then you can be like, all right, I can declare my major and I can start taking these specific classes. The only reason really why people choose their major when they start as a freshman is because they want to start their major classes early. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes it kind of puts you in a hole, like Joe said. So
yeah, like I honestly wish I knew that. That's one of the things, like, I wish I knew before going into college. Like, I didn't have to, because I thought that I had to be, especially because I knew I was going to law school. So I was like, well, the only thing law related that they have here is political science. So that's what I'm going to do. And I took my first political science class and I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't like this. I don't want to learn this stuff. I was like, no. So then I started like researching like law school stuff, so like LSAT scores and all this stuff, because they had like a pre-law program. So I was just like doing a little bit of research, and I found this article about like majors that score the highest on the LSAT. And guess what it was?
What?
Math. It was math. And I'm sitting here like, and political science was like number 18. I was like, what am I sitting here doing this when I don't even need it? You know, I'm thinking like this is going to prepare me and I'll be ready. And really, and that's another thing that I didn't even know. The LSAT had nothing to do with law. It just had to do with like reasoning and like problem solving. It wasn't like there was no like law questions on there or anything. I wish I knew that, because I wouldn't have spent so much time thinking that I needed to have all this law stuff in my head. I mean, it definitely did give you a little bit of a leg up, because a lot of stuff you just kind of knew already going into law school. But it's not like I had to like major in it, you know. So that kind of helped me move.
I wanna touch on 2 things. You talk about it. Them college entrance exams, the SAT, the ACT, the LSAT, all of that good stuff. Standardized exams, y'all.
Waste of time.
It is a waste of time.
Like, you have to take them. Don't get me wrong. Like, school boards require them. You got to take them things. But realistically, these tests do not matter. Like, because once you get into college, they do not care.
Well, no, I take that back. Because there are certain programs in college that do look at your ACT scores, like the nursing program.
Yeah, but like, look at your score. But once you get into school,
it's a requirement. You got to have a certain ACT score to get into the nursing program. So like you can, so for Grambling, you can get into Grambling with an 18 on the ACT. But in order to get into that nursing program, you have to have at least a 20. And if you don't have a 20, you have to retake the ACT, or you have to take another type of test in place of the ACT.
Okay, so I will say this then. Take advantage of the standardized test practice that you get in high school.
Yes.
Because at my high school, they started us off from freshman year. Depending on the classes you took, they were like, hey, you want to practice on these SATs?
We call them ACT prep.
Yeah.
Like, I remember my freshman year. So because I was in, so the high school Joe and I went to, it was like the smart kids, and then we were split up. I think we talked about this in a previous episode.
AP.
Like we had three tracks in our high school. We had
4
A course, I
You have
guess,
B course, AP, Ingenuity. That's 4.
but I mean, Ingenuity was the AP track.
No, it wasn't. Because I had AP classes
You
and I
had
was not
AP
in
classes,
Ingenuity.
but you were not in the AP track though.
Oh, well, whatever.
Like, but anyway, point is, so for those of us who were in the Ingenuity class, they literally started us on SAT subject tests in freshman year. So if you get that opportunity, take it, especially because a lot of these high schools now will pay for you to take them. So take them. Granted, if you got to go pay for these tests, don't do that. But
Yeah.
if they give you if because a lot of some high schools, I know our high school credited us for taking them, so you didn't have to pay for the exam. So take them because there's no reason not to. It's just going to help you to take these exams when you actually need them.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to talk about, because we talked about this whole like the what did we talk about? We talked about choosing your career when you're going into college. So I want to talk about community college.
Yes.
Because I know for me, I remember, and I don't know if it's the same for y'all, but I remember being told that community college was like, oh, you going to community college? Why you doing
Oh, yeah.
like it's like if you go to community college, somehow you just not as smart, or like
Yeah.
you just didn't
You're
do what
beneath.
you were supposed to do.
Community colleges are beneath 4
Yeah,
years.
it was like you couldn't get into a university, so you're going to community college. And I really want to dispel that, because first of all, a community college is just your gen ed courses for a 4-year institution anyway, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, going to a community college is just the same as going to university. You just go into another institution first.
And I will say, community colleges are a whole lot cheaper.
Facts. Facts. So if so again, for people who are not sure about the path they want to take, community college, it does not hurt you. It is not a bad place. Do it.
To be honest, since I did graduate from a JUCO, I would recommend, if you aren't already sure about going to a 4 year, or you don't already have a 4 year plan, I would recommend going to a community college first. Granted, okay, community college is basically all of your prereqs. You graduate in 2 years. When you do get your associates, and you do transition to a university, you're already a junior. You already got your prereqs under your belt. You might have to maybe take 2 or 3 more classes, and then you're in your degree program. What you're going to school for, you're in your degree program, and
Right.
you can knock that out in however many years it takes. But I recommend a community college first. But of course, y'all make your own decision to do what you want to do. But that's just me. That's my advice.
Right. Like I'm not knocking anybody who went to university first, because
At all. I did as well.
And things
Then
happen.
life happened.
Yeah. Life happened, and then I ended up going to community college, and it was honestly the best thing for me.
It was. I still got a degree,
Facts.
but I'm working on another one, and then another one.
We getting degrees on degrees on degrees in this family. Joe, anything to add?
I mean, I didn't have that experience, so I can't really talk about it. So, but going back, because I feel like we spent a lot of time about college, I want to like focus on high school a little bit, especially for my kiddos entering into high school. For my freshmen, be careful.
Yes.
Be careful.
That's a big.
Yes.
And I say that to say there are going to be a lot of stories. There are going to be a lot of things that people tell you. Oh, the sophomores are this, and the juniors are this, and the seniors are this. Like, take everything with a grain of salt, but also like really work on like navigating this thing on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have friends. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't bond with people or whatever. But when it comes to high school is like it's a whole other ball game, and you just really have to be careful because honestly, it could make or break you. High school is very, very important setting yourself up for the rest of your life. So just be careful of who you hang out with, who you're around, the teachers you take, like just, don't necessarily feel like you have to follow the crowd. Don't necessarily feel like you have to be the most popular person. Like just get through it, and get through it with those 1, 2, 3, 4 good friends. You can be cool with everybody, you can be social, you can be friendly, but they don't have to be in your inner circle. Find your inner circle and find them fast in high school. That's what I would say. Find those people freshman year. That's going to stay with you till senior year, honestly, because those are going to be the ones, like those other people who are friends with you just because y'all are in the same class or whatever. Yeah, we don't need that. We need those core 3 or 4 people that's going like ride or die it out with you. Like that, I found that in high school, and one of them I'm still friends with to this day. Shout out to Vicky. But find those people who are really going to be in your corner in high school, because that is really gonna keep you, honestly, for those whole 4 years.
Yeah, like I was lucky because my high school, we had this program called the Summer Bridge. So like between leaving 8th grade and starting freshman year, like they had this like 2 weeks before your freshman year where you like basically it was like, welcome to this school. Here's how it's gonna go, and you get to meet people you were gonna start freshman year with. So like I was able to get those people before freshman year started, and I'm still friendly with all of them to this day. Like we still keep in touch all the time. So it's like finding those people is really important. Like I know a lot of kids have their parents is like, you're not in school to make friends, but you kind of are though. Like
it's part of it.
It's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
Like school is for education, but school is also for socialization. Like you're not going to be a well-rounded person if you don't socialize.
Agreed.
So yes, focus on your schooling, but find some people you can get along with, because doing school alone is like doing life alone. You don't want to do that.
Yep.
And I know it sounds crazy coming from grown folks saying that high school can make or break you, but it literally can.
It can.
High school, looking back, high school was kind of scary.
For real.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit scary. Like I got through it, and I can say relatively well. But high school was a scary, crazy, intense 4 years.
Nah, my school made senior year sound like it was gonna be the worst thing ever. Like that's how they made senior year sound.
Senior year was fire. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I love my senior year, but
senior year was fire, bro.
They just made everything sound like it was going to be just this big old scary place. It wasn't that bad for me. That's all I'm saying. It wasn't that bad for me.
Like, granted, I will say my senior year experience is different to a lot of others, because for our school there was no you leave early. Because our school, we had classes, we had a full schedule our senior year. Because our school was like this extra special. Oh, you can get your Maryland State diploma, but if you get the poly diploma, you use all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, you get 2 diplomas from our school.
You took your whole 4 years and you went to school for real all day senior year.
Yeah, we had a thing where, but it started junior year, where we get to leave school early, but we got to go to this thing called the tech center. But that's if you were taking like CNA or phlebotomy, or you were doing some kind of, I think it had something to do with criminal justice. I can't remember the exact name for it, but
Mhm.
we got to leave school to go do that for my senior year. I thought that was the best thing ever because that really kind of shaped what I wanted to do, which is become a nurse. I got to do CNA junior year. I got to do phlebotomy and EKG senior year. So and I actually got certified in all of that. I could have worked as a phlebotomist after I graduated high school, but I decided to go to college. So yeah, I just feel like that was good opportunities.
That leads me into another thing. Take advantage of anything your high school offers that's like
Oh,
college
and they gave you
related or
college
like
credit.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like there's a lot of college prep, college like I think what was it called? I know my high school had like research practicum and stuff like that where you could
Mhm.
literally work as a college research student while you were
Mhm.
in high school. And I think we also had like other like you could take college credits while you were in junior and senior year, things like that.
Mhm.
So if you're able, take
Dual
advantage of
enrollment.
like dual enrollment type things. Take advantage of those things because they'll help you.
And it's never too early to start preparing for college. Like I would say, do you start doing your research on colleges maybe sophomore year,
Yeah.
sophomore junior year. Start. Don't wait till your senior year because that's when everything starts hitting you at once.
Mhm.
Start researching colleges. I would say sophomore year at the earliest.
And,
Um.
and to piggyback off of that, I do want to talk a little bit about the whole like picking your college thing. Because I know like a lot of times people are like, go where the money is, which
Don't do that.
I understand 100%. I understand, like going to the place that's giving you the most money because you don't want to be in debt, all of that stuff. But honestly, college is a life choice and it
Facts.
shapes you. You do not want to pick a place that you are not going to feel comfortable, that you are
Whew, I
not
can
going to
relate.
feel welcome,
Facts,
that
bro.
you
I
are
can
not going to
relate.
enjoy the environment, the people. Like you're living in this place, like you're not going to just pick a random state just because, they offered you money. You have to know if you can live there, if you can afford to
Mm-hmm.
live there. Like there's so many other reasons as to why people choose to move to a state in life. So the same thing applies to a college. Like it's literally, it feels like you're in a community,
Mm-hmm.
so when you choose your college, you have to make sure you factor in all of that. You have to factor in student life, you have to factor in what classes are like, you have to factor in like the different racial and ethnic groups that surround you. Like all of those things matter when it comes to picking a school. So like, yes, it's good that these people are giving you scholarships and blessing you with all that money. You don't want to come out to college debt free, but you also don't want to drop out of college early because you can't
Mm-hmm.
keep up with the environment, because the environment is too hectic for you, because the environment is not comfortable for you. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff matters. Don't worry about picking the high school that your boyfriend or girlfriend is going, or college that
Facts.
your boyfriend or girlfriend is going to. Don't worry about picking the college that your friends are going to. Like, don't do that unless you feel that this is a good environment for you on a personal level. Like, don't let other people influence your decision. You are going to be in this place for the next 2, 4, 6, whatever, however many years.
I will
You have
also. My
go
bad. Go
ahead.
ahead. I will also say if you aren't good with money now, you might want to start learning how to budget and save your money because when you get to
Yeah.
college, it's very different. I learned how to stretch $40 for like 2 weeks, but I'm saying, yeah, really, you really need to learn how to budget your money and how to spend your money and how to save because you're gonna need it.
Mhm. And don't play
Those
around with the
refunds
refund
only
checks.
last for so long.
That's what I'm saying. Don't play around with the refund checks, y'all. Like
Mm.
when you get to like the second half of the semester, not the year, the semester, and you realize you blew your check on campus food.
He ain't got not
Man,
even just campus
what?
food, bro.
Man,
I know somebody
what?
who got 5 racks back and blew it
Yeah,
all in 2 weeks on clothes and shoes and
yeah,
was
don't
hungry
do
the
that.
next week because they
Don't do
ran
that.
out of yeah.
I know it's a good amount of money. You probably never had that before with your high school job or whatever. Don't do it.
coming
Don't
from
do
coming
it.
Telling
from
you,
somebody who was at that place,
if
we
you
in
don't hear anything
2022
else,
invest that money now.
Please.
If you don't take heed to anything else we say to you, we're telling you to learn how to budget your money,
'Cause them
save your
refund checks
money.
beautiful.
Budget,
They be
save,
nice.
and invest, please. Like
They
even
be
if it's
making you feel
a couple
good.
dollars, a couple 20s, put it in some stock or
Please.
something. Because you could sit on that and it could come in handy in a pinch. I'll tell you that right now.
Yep.
So when you get the refund checks back, yeah, I understand. You want to spend some money.
I mean, you could take half and use it for spending, but put the rest of it up.
Put it up.
Trust me.
Put
Trust
it up.
me.
Yeah.
Put it up. Put it in a savings account right now. If you already know, because I know you already know. I think a lot of people already know by now how much they're getting back.
Yeah.
If you know, plan for it now. Like, hey, this is how much I'm going to put towards this. And this is how much I'm going to put away.
Because for me, like mine paid my rent for post grad. So when I got my refund check, I put whatever was for rent, and then I was able to like budget the rest and spend it, so I didn't have to worry about. And that's granted, my parents like still helped me out and stuff like that, but for the most part, like I was able to sustain myself, because for me with law school, you weren't allowed to have a job your first year. So
yeah, I remember that.
You gotta figure out your money. So for me, that refund check kept me the entire year, because I had to make sure my rent was paid. I had to make sure I had groceries. Like, granted, I didn't have a car, so I didn't have to worry about those types of bills. But I had to, I just had to make sure like I could live. Like, I wasn't driving, so like I had to like take Ubers and stuff like wherever I need to go. Like, that was part of my budget. So even though I didn't have a car, like that was still part of my transportation budget. Like, I had to factor all of that stuff in. So like, that refund check helped me, be able to live the entire year, because I couldn't have a job. So yeah, just make sure you know all of these things, because that refund check be making you feel like
you rich
and you made it in life. And then next thing you know, you look at your account, it's like, how did I spend $5,000 in 1 week? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It can happen. It can happen.
So please,
then like when you feel like you get that refund money back, you don't have to eat in the cab, so you go eat out a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when that money run out, you back eating in the cab.
You better eat some ramen noodles.
Budget your money, love. Budget your money.
Yes.
But yeah, y'all, it's not all that bad. I would say it is what you make it. So just make the best out of it. Go in with the right intentions, and I promise you'll be fine.
Facts. Like, at the end of the day, school is a good time. Like, school can be a great time, but don't let the bad outweigh the good about school.
It's all what you make it.
Yeah. Whether it's
you decide how it's gonna go.
All of that.
I mean, it's cool to have your fun, but make sure you stay on top of your grades, because going out every weekend not gonna save your GPA.
Man, what? Skipping class ain't gonna save your GPA.
That too. And it's when you're in college, you don't have to worry about asking your mom or daddy, can you skip class? It's like, oh, I got an 8 o'clock class, I don't feel like going. I'm gonna go tomorrow. It's really easy to just not want to get up to go to class.
X. Even when I wasn't living on campus, we skipped class. So
yeah, speaking from experience, it's very easy to skip class in college.
Very easy to skip class.
Don't make it a habit, because it's
please don't.
Easy
it's
to make it
very easy, and it's very easy to fall behind. And you fall behind quicker than you can catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So it may understandable like once or twice, because you need to take mental health day, whatever, catch up on some things.
But don't make it a habit.
But you don't need to be skipping class like every week. Like,
right. Don't do that.
Go see that professor.
Right.
Oh, there is this unspoken rule though, that when you get in college and your teacher don't make it there within 15 minutes, start a roll and go home.
Facts.
I still use that rule.
Facts.
I still use that rule to this day. If I'm making an appointment with you and you don't show up in 15 minutes, bye.
If your instructor, your professor, your lecturer don't make it in that class and within 15 minutes when that class starts, start a roll, go back to your dorm.
And it used to kill me, the professors that would show up at the 14th minute, bro.
Be 14 minutes and 59 seconds.
We
Everybody
literally
back
be
in.
waiting.
And the
We be
roll
looking
is
around
already
like,
going around the room, and you
yes.
walk
People
in.
still leave.
I'll be so mad.
And that
He's
professor
like,
walk in the door. It's like, for real though.
Some people still leave though and be like, oh well, bye.
Like,
And we've had the
you
professor-
knew, like, because I know these professors know this rule exists.
Mhm.
They know.
They even tell us that on the first day of school, going over the syllabus. They be like, if I'm not here 15 minutes, start a roll and you can leave. But I had a professor so petty. He came in at the 15-minute mark and the roll was already halfway around the room. He took the paper and took roll off that paper and said, let's start class.
That's what I'm saying. Some professors are petty. They know, and they would
I'm
come in
still
on
finna
late
go.
on purpose,
Bye. I'll see you tomorrow.
and then try to make it be like, "Oh, y'all don't care. That's why y'all leaving." Nah, y'all
You
don't care about our time,
sir, ma'am. You should have made it here on time.
right? Because
If
we
I
can't
gotta
learn
be here,
anything
you
if you
gotta
don't
be
show
here.
up, right?
Ooh, another thing. When you get to college, take advantage of office hours. Go talk to your professor during those office hours. It'll help you out a whole lot.
I would say I wish I took advantage of that more.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, I was in my professor office every day. Look, ma'am. She wasn't a good lecturer, so I had to go to her office to get a good understanding of a lot of stuff that she was not teaching. It wanted assignments done. So
my issue was I ain't like talking to people in the first place. So to go after class to talk to a professor one-on-one it wasn't happening.
You taking up my free time.
Like,
if your GPA on the line, you would go.
look, I know that now.
I'm finna send you an email. No, I would do that. No, hands down, I would do that. Like I would normally send an email. And there were some classes that like I think a lot of my psych classes you were required to meet your professor before like the end of the semester anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out for me. Like I didn't have to like actively go out of my way to do it. Most of them you had to meet with them at one point during the semester and you would schedule that on your own time. So that helped for me. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, wish I did that a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, y'all.
So
School is back in session.
School is back.
Let's get it. We got things to do.
Things to do. We got grades to make. We got degrees to have.
Degrees.
I want to be at all y'all graduation.
Facts. I want an invitation.
Not just degrees. We got diplomas for those who getting for high school.
Yes.
Yes. Do we have any seniors at Full Gospel?
We got a couple that just graduated high school.
I know Amari just graduated.
Lillian just graduated. I think we got a couple more.
I would say Jada. Jada is going in her 11th grade year this year, so never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still want to see them graduation invites, college, high school, all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say we saw they did a little thing. Was it this past Sunday where they call everybody who was going back to school?
Yeah,
there was a lot of people in school at Full Gospel. Like from kindergarten all the way up to post grad. There's a lot of people in school right now. So there's a lot of people in school in general. So y'all just make it happen.
And all I'm gonna say, guys, pray for me. Cause this is just the first class and I'm already stressed.
It be like that.
And I got a test tomorrow, Jesus.
You will definitely be in our prayers, sis.
But yeah, like I said earlier, it's gonna be worth it in the end.
Sure will.
I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing.
Okay, so in honor of going back to school, for our hotline today, we are going to be playing a little bit of this or that back to school edition. Okay. I'm going to give you two options, and you're going to tell me this or that. Okay. So,
sure.
First option, front row or back row?
Front.
Back.
Front. Yeah, I'm telling you, you will retain all the information easier. It'll be easier to not get distracted in the front. If you're in the back, you're very easily distracted.
I think it depends on one, your learning style, and two, which level of education.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But I still prefer the front.
Okay, you said which level of education. So what does that mean for our high schoolers to our college students?
If you're in high school, take your tail to the front of that classroom. Because
Well, no, because
you just getting into trouble in the back.
there are some high schools who actually do assigned seating, so you don't always get a choice of sitting in the front or back.
True.
I never got a choice.
If there isn't assigned seating
Mhm.
in your high school, then sit your butt in the front or as
Yeah.
close to the front as you can get.
Yeah,
Because in high school, you know you just getting into trouble if you sit in the back.
yeah, with the class clown sit in the back.
Mm.
But in college, I would definitely say sit in the front.
I'm not sitting unless it's a lecture hall. I ain't sitting in the front of the lecture hall. I'm not. I refuse.
If it's a regular classroom size,
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I
talking
need to
about-
see the entire room. I'm
I'm
sorry.
talking about like the big lecture halls. I'm sitting in the back. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not sitting in the front of the classroom.
If it's the big lecture halls, I gotta sit like in the middle on the end.
okay, well, yeah, the lecture halls, that's different. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go all the way down to the bottom to sit in the front. I'll
But the
sit
regular
like
classroom-
midway.
regular
I'm sitting-
classrooms. Go
I'm
ahead, John.
sitting in the front in
Very
regular
close to the
class.
back. I'm sorry.
I'm a
I
middle
don't
of
like
the room
being up
person
in the
for a
teacher's
regular
face.
classroom.
And it also depends on the class too, because if it's a class where I haven't really been doing the work, like you're more than likely to get called on if you sit like close to the front or very much in the back. So like that's why I try to be in like that middle area, because like sometimes you get overlooked in the middle area.
I was gonna say I'm a middle of the classroom kid when it
Yeah.
comes to like regular classrooms. Like I'm gonna sit right in the middle. So
Okay.
you know I'm here, but don't
Maybe I'm
necessarily
just a nerd. I like to be in the front.
That's okay.
I get all the information.
That is a-okay. It's probably why I need glasses right now.
Well, yeah. Second option: group work, independent work.
Independent.
Independent work.
I hate working with other people, and then you got to pick up the slack for somebody. One person who don't want to do their work but want to get the credit. No.
I'll tell you the only time I stopped. I liked group work in high school because we were all about it. Like we were getting it. College, we got to college. Don't give me group work in college because first of all, I don't even know y'all. Second of all, for me to like, I gotta get people's numbers and
I was
emails.
just about to
We
say
gotta be
that.
after class and all this. Like no.
Like
No.
in high school, I didn't have a choice. Like we had to do group work. If the teacher assigned group work, we had to do group work. But like in college, I really don't like people. I'm sorry, I don't like people. So I'm not gonna work in a group of people.
Randy, we are
That's
Christians.
awkward.
We're not allowed to not like people.
Okay, well I take that back. It's not I don't like people. I'm an introvert. I like to say to myself. So it's just awkward talking to folks.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%, which is why group work was not for me in college. Give me the independent projects. I will work by myself. Absolutely.
Like right now, this class that I'm in, and I cannot believe this is happening, but I'm in this class now that's about group therapy. So we have to work in a group and do group therapy sessions. And not only do we have to work with other people, but these people live all across the country. So I'm working in different time zones with people who like that's a lot. We literally stayed on the phone for like an hour trying to navigate when we having our next meeting because everybody got other stuff that they got to do.
Oh wow,
that's complicated. Hard. I don't know why they thought that made sense, but it didn't. So,
okay,
that's that. Okay, take a quiz or write an essay.
Either or.
Quizzes
are short and simple, but I also like writing.
Quiz me all day.
Depending on the topic.
I do not like writing essays.
It depends on the size of the essay.
I do not like
and it depends on the topic. I'll do both.
Because for me, I feel like I have like quiz anxiety. Like I feel like everything like leaves my head when it comes to a quiz. But with the essay, like I feel like I can finesse that, you know?
Oh, you can always finesse the essay.
Huh?
You can always finesse the essay.
Exactly. You can't finesse.
You can add extra words.
You can't finesse a quiz, either right or wrong.
No, the reason why I don't like writing essays is because I am very to the point when it comes to writing. So when people, when they're like, hey, you got to have this number of words, I don't have that many words. I'm telling you what the answer is. This is the answer. This is why this is the answer. I don't need to say anything else. So when you ask me to say other things, you're getting on my nerves. I'm done writing. So quiz me all day. I don't care. Don't ask me to write an essay,
Alright.
Okay.
which is probably going to be terror on me when I go back to school. But for now, do not ask me to write an essay, bro. I don't want to do it.
Sorry.
Don't want to do it.
Okay. So, do you work best day or night?
I work during the day, so I say night.
Okay. I'm a day
That's when I have time. So
fair, but I'm definitely a daytime worker. Like being able to do my work during the day, like my homework and stuff. 100%, I would rather work during the day.
I would rather work through the day, especially now that I'm an adult.
Mhm.
Like, let me get my work done during the day, so at night I can relax.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out here working. The sun is down, the lights are out, and I'm working. No, thank you.
I'm a night owl anyway, so I stay up late. So I really feel like that's the only reason why I'll do work at night anyways. Because I'm up anyway, so why not do nothing productive?
Okay, I'm gonna do like a couple more. Reading or math?
Reading.
Math,
You're
bro.
so aggressive.
I hate math with a passion.
Math, bro. Give me numbers.
You
Give
can
me
have
numbers.
Statistics
all
gave me hell.
I will read for fun, but give me math.
Statistics gave me hell. I passed it with an A, but it was not easy getting that A. But I
Statistics is
hate
not
math.
easy. Yes, I will give you that. Statistics is not easy.
You passed what with an A? You passed statistics with an A?
I did.
Dang, I wish we went to school together. Girl, I barely made it out of there.
That's crazy because I passed statistics with an A too.
I bet y'all, I don't even want to hear. I barely made it out that class, bro. I was surprised I did.
I was surprised I got an A. Me and math did not get along.
Shirley
Me and
came
math
out
got
with
beef.
a C. With a C. I'll take my C and run.
These get degrees.
Facts. Is that right there? I don't even remember nothing. I just remember there was like graphing.
That was the worst part.
It was like
in the word problem.
Yeah, it was like lines. It was like numbers there was this chart that had a bunch of numbers on it. And it
was a line graph?
It wasn't a line graph. It was like, I can't remember what it is, but I just remember it because we used it on the exam. It was literally this chart with a bunch of numbers on it. And like, if you solved like a certain
problem, I know what you're talking about.
Like, go onto the chart to find like the number that is associated with it, and that's how you got the answer.
That like chi-square stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, bro.
Yeah. I was thinking slow.
Me out.
Y equals mx plus b.
No, that's algebra. I could do that.
No, I remember exactly what you're talking about. I remember that stuff.
Yeah, that right there was, I don't even know.
I don't know, but I'm so glad I ain't gotta take stats no more.
That just throw that whole class away.
But nah, it's math for me, bro.
Okay, art or PE?
Who?
Art or PE?
I can't draw, but I sure hate PE, so I'll draw stick figures.
Art class.
Actually,
I am not athletic
cool
whatsoever.
Well, no. Okay, I take that back. If it's middle school PE, what we did line dancing for like the first semester, I'll take
that. High school PE, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Facts. Middle school PE. I did not know that was a universal thing. I really felt like it was because we had a substitute.
That was in the lesson plan.
I did not know that. But
Footloose, Cupid Shuffle, the electric slide, all it.
We used to do like the Soldier Boy dance. We used to do that every single time.
Nah, every time. PE was lit, bro. Middle school PE was lit.
You know, I think they was getting us ready for them school dances because the same line dances we did at PE would be the same dance, same line dances with them school dances.
Definitely prepping y'all for that.
Yeah, hands down, middle school PE.
And I went to a Caucasian school, so you know how that goes.
No, I don't.
Anyway, would you prefer computer work or book work?
For what?
So,
It depends on what for.
Okay.
Because, like, for example, like math and stuff, I need to write that down. Doing
yeah,
math on a
for
computer
math,
is
yeah.
so annoying.
So I would say, okay, I would say substitute teacher. Would you prefer to get a packet or would you prefer to do computer work?
Give me a packet, bruh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because literally we gonna get on the computer and what we gonna do? We gonna play games all day.
that's
Like-
what we did in my computer class.
Thanks.
We
Like,
did
I
one
remember
assignment.
we had computer classes. We were literally just we were either playing games or doing random research, watching YouTube videos. And
That's
this
what
is
we
back
did.
when YouTube was
My
free.
computer class in middle school was lit.
This is back when YouTube was like really just
Yeah,
getting started
free.
for real.
And I missed that YouTube.
YouTube was wild back in the day. Like, there was no censorship at all. Like, everything was on YouTube.
True.
It was wild. So YouTube was a weird place back in the day. Like, it wasn't YouTube wasn't Hollywood when YouTube started. It was
They do too much now.
YouTube is so Hollywood now. Like,
They do the absolute most.
like you basically got to be a movie director to be a YouTuber now. Like, you can't just pull up your phone camera and be like, I'm recording a video.
Right. And then it's so crazy because I remember so many YouTube videos that I used to listen to and or watch and they're no longer on there.
I know, that's the heartbreak.
Sometimes. And like, remember that guy who used to do the funny accents?
Yes.
Man, I miss that dude. And I
That is-
can't find his YouTube videos nowhere.
There are so many things that used to be on YouTube that aren't there anymore.
He used to like call restaurants and have these
Yeah,
random.
he was a prank caller.
This dude was hilarious.
You talking about the cockroach dude?
Yes, the cockroach is flying around.
Oh my god.
That dude was hilarious, bro. Like, oh my god! I remember one time he pretended to have like this really, really thick Southern accent, like this Texan, and he was ordering. I think he was ordering from like a taco place or something. Yo, this dude was so funny. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna do two more. Okay, get up early or go to bed late.
Go to bed late.
Go to bed late.
I hate getting up early, but I have to.
Getting
But I
up
hate
early
getting up
for
early.
birds. I
Facts.
remember having an 8 a.m. lecture in college.
Ooh,
Why did I?
No,
First of all, why did I do that to myself?
ooh.
no,
Like, granted,
And
I
then it
lived
was
on
mad.
campus, so it was easier to go.
you will not see me, campus or
But-
not. You will not see me.
But when I tell you, so I remember being told, like, you know, if you get up and you leave the house in your PJs, you dirty. Okay. This 8 a.m. lecture, I did not care. You will see me in my pajamas this
Listen.
8 a.m. lecture, because when I tell you waking up for this lecture was not something I wanted to do.
Listen.
It was literally a bunch of us. It was a physics class at that.
Yeah, nah, you will not see me.
Had to get up.
8 a.m. classes in high school is not like 8 a.m. classes in college.
Correct.
You do not
Learn that now.
like.
Don't do it to
If
yourself.
you have to, if you absolutely
You
have
don't.
to,
You
I
don't.
pray for you. No, because there are some courses like it's literally only one section.
That's true.
I ain't
only
taking it.
8 in the morning.
I ain't
But
taking
all I'm gonna say is take advantage of early registration. Get your classes early.
Facts.
And if that's the only section that they offering, you don't need that class. You better find a substitute. You don't need it.
Or take it next semester.
You don't need it. I'm telling you, there's always another option. There's option B. Find it.
I'm
But
telling
nah.
you, them
Oh,
8
yeah,
a.m.
that's
hurt.
we forgot about that. Early registration for classes, y'all. Take
Yes.
advantage of that. Like, as soon as that thing opens, if you know the night before, like I remember we used to like literally sit up waiting.
Yes.
wait for the start.
Matter of fact, have your classes on the thing already. So
Yeah.
by
Yes.
the time it happens, all you gotta do is hit say
For
or
real, we
saying
were
whatever.
like clockwork. We would literally sit for real. We would make sure we get out of class early, and we would sit in that commuter lounge, and we would just be waiting. We put all our classes in the cart, and we would just
Yup.
be sitting there.
Be
And
ready to hit that
everybody was at a
submit button.
different time. So like this person would go first and be like, "Did you get it?" And then it's like, "Yes." And then one person would be like, "Oh no, I didn't get this one." So some of us will like go around and like rearrange our schedule. Like, okay, well, like since you didn't get in this class, we're gonna try and get in this section. Like we literally was sitting in there like. That was like the only mission for the day. Like, forget classes, like the class that we were already registered in. We was like, forget all that. We are going to sit here and we're going to make sure we are good for next semester. It was serious.
That was a big deal,
And then
especially when
I
it
remember
came to doing picking dorms as well. I remember,
yeah.
bro, we broke the internet
Oh yeah.
because there was so
That's
many
the other
people
one.
waiting to get certain type of dorms.
That's the other one. Class registration and dorm assignments, bro. Make sure you get in there.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get in there, you're gonna
You
end up
stuck
with
with trash.
Like I remember when I was living on campus, like we all wanted, like our freshman year, we all got along, everybody who lived on our floor. So we were like, we living together next year. So we basically had to all sign up for dorm assignments at the same time so we could all live together. When I tell you we were waiting, because it was like a midnight type thing. So we had to be up waiting to be like, all right, we finna press this button. So make sure you get your living situation and your class situation solved as quickly as possible.
Telling you.
So go ahead, Joe. What's the next
one? Last one is gonna be weekends or weekdays.
For what?
Just weekends or weekdays.
Weekends, I ain't got nothing to do. I do all my work during the week.
Let me get.
I'm chilling on weekends. That's for me.
That's hard because my schedule is not such that I don't work on the weekend. So I can say that. But I like a weekend anyway. Weekends, and I feel like we're trained to like weekends because that's how school works. But weekends,
and some jobs are off on the weekend.
Weekends just feel more lit.
But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like as an adult, getting off on a weekday,
bro,
is nice.
It does feel good.
It feels good and it hits different because like weekends they're all well and good, but like half the errands that you need to run like have to be done by like 2:00 because everything closes.
Yeah, but like not everything is open on weekends.
Yeah, but getting off on a weekday, like you can knock off so many things on your list. Yeah, like weekdays hit different when you older.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. That's such an adult thing to say.
It is definitely an adult thing to say, but it's true. So eventually you're gonna get there because a lot of young people will be like, "Oh yeah, weekends we don't gotta do no homework or whatever." Yeah.
But when you got a job, weekdays being off on a weekday,
asking for the weekdays.
Like for me, I'll be off sometimes on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Man, when I tell you
nice.
Tuesdays being off, oh my god.
I wish I had the luxury to have a weekday off.
Because like I work the whole weekend. So I work Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So when I get to Tuesday and I'm off, oh my god. Bro.
Yep.
Like, it's so different. I'm waking up, I'm seeing the sun, and I don't have to go to work today.
Yep. That's a different feeling.
Well, all lines are clear.
I think so.
Amen.
This is a nice little interlude.
Well, yeah, y'all. Anything else? We got any other advice? Life lessons?
No, I mean just to recap for my high school babies, I would just say number one important thing: find your people, find them early, and make sure you build a well-rounded career. For my college people, that's a life choice, and everything you make in college is a life choice. So
have fun, but don't party too hardy in college.
Yeah, definitely that. And post-grad,
prioritize.
Post-grad, you done experience it all. So at this point, you should know what you're doing. But always ask for help. That's my advice.
Ditto. I second. But yeah, y'all, school is back in session. Good luck to everybody who is going back to school, whether it be high school, college, grad, whatever it is. We got this.
We
Or
do.
even to our elementary, middle school kids, because you know they.
Elementary.
We love y'all too, baby.
Of course, we love our babies.
We do. Even our early childhooders.
Yeah.
We love
I
all
saw
y'all.
some pre-K pics the other day. I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, look at
Cuties.
you."
Going
They
to
stepping too.
backpacks.
They stepping too with their little outfits and shoes.
For
I'm like,
real.
Right.
I got more swag than the big kids. Okay. I
Our
see
school pictures did not look like that when we was kids.
Right. We did
Shout out
not
to
look
these
like I had
shout out to these new
pigtails.
cell phone cameras, y'all.
Facts. Because y'all looking real cute out here with these pictures, and we just look frumpy.
Right. I had pigtails
Yeah.
and snagger teeth. But anyway, y'all.
Yeah.
That's it for tonight. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Of course.
Again,
Of course.
we're everywhere. Just click our link tree in the bio, select one of those links to listen to a past episode. If you're behind, catch up. And we're gonna continue with our regular services on next week. Our regularly scheduled program
Yeah.
next week with our
And we will
courtship
be
series.
having
Going live
some
on Friday.
exciting guests, which we will not tell you about.
Yes,
yet.
we got big guests coming soon,
We do. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for
and I
next
can't
week.
wait.
So excited. So y'all better tune in because next week's
Tune
episode,
in.
y'all, we got some fire guests.
Yeah,
I'm telling y'all now, y'all gonna love it.
And these guests, bro, they coming.
Yes.
They got good advice. The advice we can't give y'all.
Right.
Exactly.
They got the
Gotta call on the big guns, y'all.
They got the juice, they got the sauce, they got all that stuff.
Yeah.
all it.
Cooking.
But yeah, as always, we appreciate y'all for listening to the Christian Call Center, where Jesus is on the main line and we're on line too.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. Ooh, if anybody can tell us where this song comes from.
Yeah, shout out to y'all if y'all can tell us in the comments.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.